Welcome to Take 5 with the Top 50, the video interview series with Atlantic Business Magazine's Top 50 CEOs. Each episode, we ask 5 questions to find out what makes these award-winning leaders tick. In this episode, I'm talking to Jenny Smith, President and Executive Creative Director of Ray. As president of Ray, Jenny continues to build one of the hottest award-winning ad agencies in Atlantic Canada. Ray has skyrocketed into a full-service, award-winning 18-person shop, and in 2020 was named one of the 400 top-growing companies in Canada, according to the Globe and Mail's report on business. Thanks for joining me, Jenny. I'm really excited to get started and to learn more about you and everything you've accomplished over the last year. So, Jenny, COVID has been a stressful time for everyone. How does an agency like Ray keep its creative juices flowing during a pandemic?
That's an excellent question, and I'd love to say vodka, but I'm just joking. This past year has been really difficult. It's coming up with ideas at the best of times is really hard, but when you have a pandemic hanging over your head, it's sometimes it's crippling. So I think that for us, we kind of tackled it. We used three kind of main things to help us come up with ideas. So the first one was constant communication. So whether that is, whether we were in the same room together or if we were on a Zoom call, we're always in contact with each other. Because, ideas are really best when, you had that chance to riff and you had that chance to jam on them, and you have a chance to pick them apart with other people. And I always find that coming up with ideas in isolation really isn't ideal. So I guess collaboration, secondly, is definitely in our DNA, and collaboration really helps when you're struggling. And third, I think that this was kind of new for me, although I've always sort of worn my heart on my sleeve, but showing that you're vulnerable was really important this past year, and I did that. And I think that it's okay to show people that being not okay is okay.
In a male-dominated industry, I noticed that 80% of Ray's creative department are women. Was this a deliberate choice on your part? And do you ever get criticized for not having more men on your team?
So I never get criticized. That never actually comes up. And this certainly wasn't by design. It wasn't a deliberate thing to have a bunch of women on the team. So throughout my career, I've worked in creative departments where there's been mostly males in the creative department. And I've said this many times before, but globally, only 3% of creative directors globally are women. And so it's really hard to find really great female mentors in this industry. So, I had a lot of great mentors, not a lot of female ones, but whenever a junior female creative used to join our team, or if I met somebody through, just the industry, I'd always take the time to speak with her and to help her along and to mentor. And so after a while, you build up all these contacts. And when I launched my own agency back in 2013, there was a lot of really, really talented women that I wanted to work with. And so, I had that network, and, it just happened that they were the best for the job. So certainly not by design. Another great thing that our clients really like is that 80% of household decisions are made by women. So having that female perspective on your team is so interesting, and it really actually helps with the creative. It helps make it stronger. So, and I think as a leader, I see there's a huge opportunity to make a change in our industry. And I've thought that ever since I started out in this industry. But I think diversity at every level, it's not just like a nice to have kind of thing. It's a must have these days.
So Jenny, you've been noted to have described Ray as a modern agency. What does that really mean to you, and how does it make you an industry leader?
So being a modern agency means a few things to me and to our clients. So first off, we are not a traditional agency in the sense of we're not this big kind of machine that uses old ways of doing things. We're built specifically for project work and not necessarily for agency of record work. So we have lots of agency of record clients, but we are built to be more agile and nimble. And we're certainly not conservative like a lot of traditional agencies are. There's no layers at Ray, so there's no hierarchy. We all sit together. There's no, levels of people. So not everybody has a title of VP at Ray. And so I think that clients love when they can contact anybody and they don't have to go through layers of people to talk with our team members. And I think that our approach to compensation is a little different too. Now, we bill on the hour and we offer hourly rates and blended rates, but we also have other ways of looking at compensation too. So we have value-based compensation. So, we'll talk with the client and say, okay, here's an idea. This idea is worth X. And then we'll decide on that number. Also, we're very open to contract. So, we have a couple of beer clients, very convenient when you have a contra type of deal. So, so there's that. And I think that, we just subscribe to a partner-driven approach to most of our projects and also our finances. So we're very, very transparent. If we do an estimate for a client and we don't use up all that time, we will not bill to that estimate. We will bill to what time we actually punched in. So it could be below that estimate. We don't fluff our numbers at all and we don't pad our pockets. So we play fair.
Jenny, you've had the opportunity to judge several regional, national, and international advertising shows. What do those experiences reveal to you about Atlantic Canada's place in the world?
Well, I think that we have a lot of work to do. That's not to say that we don't have the talent in Atlantic Canada, because we do. There are some highly creative and talented people in this region, especially in Newfoundland. Slightly biased, but so we definitely have the talent. And we have the clients too. They always say that great work takes a really brave client, and that's true. It's very easy to stay on the safe side of things and to go with safe ideas and to go with ideas that may not make waves like a bigger type of bolder idea would. So there's that. There's also, a misunderstanding of what it takes to make a great idea. So whenever I'm judging at regional shows or even international shows, what I'm looking for is a single-minded idea. So there's only one most important point in that ad, and you get it right away. So very single-minded, very focused, but also the craft of the ad. So when I say craft, I mean, the idea from the inception of the idea right to the very end of the production. So everything in between, everything that you're doing to that idea to make it the best it can be is really the best it can be. So instead of using stock music, for example, you use original music. Instead of using a stock photo from a stock photo site, you actually use original photography. And you take that time to make the photo the best photo it can be. Instead of using, illustration from stock, you use original illustration. So there's that. I think that, to me also, the last thing I'm going to say about that is there has to be that trust between an agency and a client. So when there's that trust, a client may be more open to doing something a little more edgy, something that's going to make a little more noise and get noticed. because that's half the battle, trying to get noticed in this sea of sameness out there. So many people say, oh my God, these ads suck. Let's PBR stuff. I hate advertising. But you know what? There's a lot of really good advertising out there. Very difficult to do. But if you have that trust between a client and an agency, I find that just the work gets better. And so I think that we have to strive for that. We have to strive for braveness and also that crafting of an idea. And I think that we'll get there as a region.
Those are really great insights for sure. Now I'm going to pivot a little bit to a bit more of a classic accounting question. When it comes to succession planning, do you think that leaders should constantly be planning themselves out of a job?
Yes, I do, and I'm currently doing that right now. Funny you should ask. So I really feel it's important as a leader to, help your team as much as possible and guide them in the right direction and give them as much of yourself and your knowledge as possible. But I hire people who are better than things than I am. So I love to surround myself with people who are smarter than me, who are more talented than me, who have better insights than I do. And so when you're surrounded by all this talent, then you can start identifying people who would actually be really great at taking over this business. Because I can't work in advertising for a really long time. It's a young person's game, and it's tough and it's long. It's stressful. Coming up with ideas is really nerve-wracking sometimes. When you're looking at that blank page and you're thinking, oh my God, why aren't the ideas coming? It's terrifying. So I think that looking inward or even looking outside your organization and trying to identify people who would be really great at carrying on with the agency culture and the business is really, really important. And I want to do other things in my life, so I'd love to be able to pass on my knowledge and to have someone else carry that torch.